We welcome you into the Ken Sparks Show as Carson-Newman comes out victorious over the Brevard Tornadoes 35-19. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier, alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Ken Sparks. Coach Sparks, congratulations on career victory 305. You might have played in this one. Did my eyes deceive me, or was this one on the coaches and players?
No, they wouldn't let me play.
I thought you had eligibility left.
But it was a battle, and it was a struggle, and of course, you know, give credit where credit's due. We had some kids that responded second half very well. 7-7 at halftime, and it was a struggle in 7-7. They could have been ahead. They missed a field goal, and we could have been ahead. We fumbled on the 1 yard line, and didn't fumble. We did fumble our first possession. And then we didn't make it on fourth down on the goal line. So it was one of those tests that hopefully will clean out some ugly stuff and make us better.
Good wake-up call?
I don't know. We'll see this week. Hadn't had a chance really to talk to many kids yet. You know, and that's where you find out. You know, you communicate with kids and find out what's going on in their minds. And we'll know a little bit more here in the next day or two. 35-19 victory. You brought it up 7-7 tie at the break. What was Brevard doing in that first half to give you some troubles? Well, they were playing hard and we were playing slow. And, you know, and of course, and we were playing, we weren't blocking and tackling. Anytime you're not blocking and tackling in a football game, you may get beat. And that's exactly what was going on with us. We weren't blocking and tackling very well. Brevard had after the fumble recovery, Andre Overholt took it 69 yards around the right side off of a pitch to score and put Brevard up 7-0. Your players respond with a long drive that you don't punch in after going for it on 4th and goal. Why go for it in that situation? I don't know. You'll have to ask somebody besides me. I don't know. It was not even one. It was about like that. Yeah. You know, it was not anything that we shouldn't have been able to do, and we wanted to even the game up and get it back even, but we didn't. You know, we didn't block. We just didn't block. Well, Carson-Newman and Brevard are tied at 7, headed into the locker room. We'll break down the first half when we return after this on the Ken Sparks Show. We welcome you back on the Ken Sparks Show. I'm Adam Cavalier alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Ken Sparks. The Eagles tied with Brevard 7-7 headed into the locker room. Coach, it's the first time all season that you end up trailing a team after the first quarter. You withstood your shot. You withstood Brevard's shots. How did you respond? Well, I think everybody knew that we were not playing at the level we need to be playing at, and I think they were pretty frustrated at halftime, and I was pretty frustrated, and we made that very clear. But the coaches made some good adjustments at halftime also, and I think you know, we needed to be honest with ourselves to realize that we were playing football differently than the way we need to be playing it, and so got a little bit better response. And again, don't take anything away from Brevard. They were playing. No. They were really playing well, and we were encouraging them. We helped them, and they didn't need much help because they were getting after it and doing a good job. You saw their A game, their A+ game. Right. They're a well-coached football team. Paul Hamilton's a great football coach. What do you say in the locker room at halftime to get your players to respond for the second half? Well, I threatened them that I was going to call every one of their mamas. And I told them that they were not going to eat for a week. Just a few little simple things. So outside of that, no, you know, we just talked about having the heart to come back from a situation like that we needed to respond to. You bring that having heart. How does faith in God? How do you use that when you're in a situation like that, tied at the half? Well, Adam, you don't pick and choose when you use your faith in the Lord. It's either there or it's not, you know. And So we don't package our faith in any kind of, okay, this is Monday's faith and this is Tuesday's faith, this is ball game faith, and this is something else faith when I'm in trouble or whatever. You either trust the Lord with the circumstances of your life or you don't. And so football game's just a laboratory to express your faith, express your commitment to life, to have a learning experience. It's going to help you a whole lot. With some more learning experience, it's going to be a whole lot more important than a football game. And that's what it's all about.
Carson-Newman and Brevard tied at 7 at the break, and we take a look at the highlights. Brevard on its first play from scrimmage gives off right side, a pitch to Overholt near side. Overholt streaking his way along the near sideline. Overholt will take it 69 yards for a Brevard touchdown. And the Tornadoes on top 6-0 with 12:16 left in the first quarter. Haywood takes the snap, spins right now left, pitches left for Hibbett. Hibbett with space across midfield. Hibbett rolling his way down the near sideline. He's got the 35 and 30, finally shoved out of bounds, well into Brevard territory, down at the 23-yard line by Rufus Jenkins in pursuit from his defensive end spot. And Overholt up top, Marsh under center. Will pitch right side for Overholt. Overholt caught in the backfield by Xavier Stevens, the X-Man. Drops him for a loss of 2, back to the 19, and the Eagles hold tight on 3rd down and 2 with Hibbett on the left and Baker on the right. Haywood takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Hibbett. Haywood will keep it over the left side. Haywood with blockers at the 40 and 45. Haywood across midfield, angled out of bounds on the far sideline, down at the Brevard 47-yard line by Philip Curcio. Haywood takes the snap, runs left. Haywood keeps it around the left side. Haywood around the numbers. He'll dart down the far sideline and score. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Brandon Haywood makes some magic with his legs, and the Eagles an extra point away from tying the game at 7 apiece. Marsh takes the snap. It's a reverse to Henderson right side. Henderson pursued in the backfield by Isaac Kinley, and Kinley yanks him down all the way back at the 31. A loss of 15. Carson-Newman played it perfectly. Haywood takes the snap, rolls the pocket right, looking to throw. Great block by Andy Hibbett. Now Haywood comes out of the backfield. Haywood darting his way along the near side hash. Haywood up across the 20, falls forward up to the 25, where he's grabbed by Peter Warner. But still, Brandon Haywood makes another play with his legs to pick up 16 yards and a Carson-Newman first down. Snap out of the split back veer, throwing a jump ball to the far sideline for Isom. Isom tips it up, but it's picked off in Brevard territory at the 49. Philip Curcio comes down with the pick, the first interception that Brandon Haywood has thrown this season for Reese. He takes the snap, no step drop, fires far sideline, complete to Lacine, down at the 35, and Oliver Davis just rams him out of bounds. Reese takes the snap, throwing a Hail Mary pass deep down the near sideline. It's picked off by Rawson at the 3. Rawson darts out of bounds up at the 30 for a 27-yard return, but Carson-Newman thwarts Brevard yet again deep in Eagle territory. Carson-Newman and Brevard tied at 7 at the break. I'm Adam Cavalier alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Ken Sparks. Coach, Brandon Haywood makes a play with his legs, takes it in from 36 yards. Out in that second quarter alone, he has 4 carries for 85 yards. What was he doing to make some magic happen for Carson-Newman?
Well, they were really cramming in, doing some gambling in between tackles. And Coach Turner came up with a little wrinkle there that we hadn't run too much this year, where we were getting some blocking schemes that helped that situation, and getting the ball on the perimeter. And so kids blocked well. Running backs did a tremendous job loading up on some linebackers, and we we were out there on an island, and it was good to see Brandon. And later on, DeAndre turn it upfield and go make something happen.
Andy Hibbett played like a fullback at times in what he was doing, blocking.
He and Brandon Baker both did, and we got really shaky at running back. Brandon Baker went down with a little bit of a strained knee early. Andy got a hip pointer last week and was sore. Tyron Douglas went down with a hamstring. And so, we're playing there with injured folks, and we only traveled with 4 or 5, and counting a freshman that had never played in a ball game. And so it's pretty exciting there for a streak.
You bring up the Baker injury. I saw him go out, but to see him play the rest of the game, he did not look like he was playing hurt. How gritty of a performance did he have, and Hibbett to the same effect?
Both of them. Both of them we needed, and both of them responded. And I took Andy out of a kicking situation because he's on about every kick in your team, and made him mad. He said, "Coach, I'm all right. I'm all right." And that's the kind of kid he is. He's a great competitor. And I told Brandon at halftime, I said, "Hey, Brandon, calling on you, babe." And he said, "Coach, I got you." And he did. He came through great second half. I fumbled once, and I think that's when he got hurt a little bit. And I don't know about that, but I'm anxious to see about that.
You think about what Baker and Haywood do, and they do this after Brevard holds the football for 13 minutes and 55 seconds in that second quarter. How crucial was ball control in that second half while finding the end zone as well?
Well, I think our first 4 possessions second half we scored, and that was critical. We needed that, and that was exactly what I wanted us to do when we came out. And of course, defense did a good job too. Third quarter was, Brevard dominated second quarter, and we dominated third quarter, and that was what we needed.
9 tackles for a loss, that's a season high. What were you doing to get that level of penetration?
Well, they were taking the ball off the line of scrimmage with reverses and double reverses and all kinds of stuff, and they were trying to do a lot of load stuff where he was really bellying off, the quarterback was bellying off the line of scrimmage, and so it just gave you more time to get penetration to get to the ball.
Well, Carson-Newman takes a 7-7 tie out of the locker room and turns it into a 35-19 victory as Ken Sparks collects career win 305. He ties Frosty Westering, formerly of Pacific Lutheran, for 9th on the all-time wins list. We'll break down the second half in a moment. That comes your way after this when the Ken Sparks Show returns. Back on the Ken Sparks Show as Carson-Newman is victorious over Brevard, 35-19. I'm Adam Cavalier alongside Carson-Newman head coach Ken Sparks. Coach, career victory 305. You tie Frosty Westering.
Not my career victory.
Your team's career victory.
Thank you very much.
Your team's career victory 305 with you at the helm.
Yes,
you're in the same spot as Frosty. What's that mean to you?
Well, it don't mean anything except I know who Frosty Westering is, and he's a very special man. And he coached at Pacific Lutheran for years and years, had an unbelievable career. Wrote a book, I don't remember the exact title, but it was something like "Big Time is Where You Are." And it's because he'd been in a small NAIA school out of Pacific Lutheran, but had made it a powerhouse. And he and his wife, Carol, and I, every clinic, every American football coaches meeting in the last 4 or 5 years, we've tried to make it a point to sit down and talk to him. And he's full of wisdom. He's a strong believer. His granddaughter is Tabor Spaney, the basketball left-hander at the University of Tennessee. And so we have conversation about grandchildren. But Frosty is the kind of guy that certainly has influenced a whole lot of people in this world, and especially in the coaching profession.
Make you feel good to be in a profession where there's a guy like him side by side?
No question. It's exciting to be, anytime you have your name mentioned around Frosty Westering, you have to say that's good. Yeah.
You take a look at the second half versus Brevard. You come out victorious 35-19. Michael Gruber and Billy Muscatello for Brevard's defense have 19 tackles and 11 tackles respectively. Were they as good as advertised?
They're good football players, no question. And you can't, you line up against Mother Goose School and get 19 tackles, you've done something pretty special. And those two guys created problems for us all day. And we didn't block them very well. So I mean, that's a whole lot to say about them.
You turn the side to your defense, though. Jarrell Emanuel with 13 tackles, John Seitz with 11. What did your linebackers do to have a successful day?
Well, they got better as the game went along and made some big plays, and we really had some big plays. There were several times when we got them in long yardage because of big plays, and that made it really a difference because they're limited in throwing the football, and so when you got them in long yardage, they had to, it was hard for them to convert and get it done, and that's third quarter, that's what we did. We got them long yardage and didn't let them convert.
Isaac Kinley and Xavier Stevens seemed
some big plays.
Some big stops in the backfield around the edges.
Yes, and Oliver Davis made a hit on our sideline that really was an outstanding contact hit. And I think we probably had some breakdowns in some plays that, when coaches watch it, we're disappointed with. But when people were watching it just from a spectator perspective, we had some big plays.
How crucial was that 3-and-out to start the second half?
Oh, we needed it. We needed to make something happen quick. We needed to get in the lead quick, and we did. And that was, I think, they held them 3-and-out, and we went 4 plays and scored. Yep. And that was a tremendous 7 plays to start second half.
Carson-Newman with the victory over Brevard, 35-19. When we return on the Ken Sparks Show, we put the Eagle spotlight on Alex Taylor. That's when we return after this. This is the Ken Sparks Show, and each week Roger Hoover puts the Eagle spotlight on one Carson-Newman football player. This week it shines on lineman Alex Taylor.
They may not get the most amount of attention, but the members of the Carson-Newman offensive line play a key role in the success of the Eagle program. Being in the right position, making the necessary block, and clearing the way for the running backs has proven to be the winning formula for the Eagle Veer offense. Junior right tackle Alex Taylor is one of those leaders of the line, and once again is enjoying a productive season in the trenches.
We got a good start, and then we of course had our rough patches those 2 weeks against Newberry and Wingate, but we've picked it up and we feel like we're on a great track.
Taylor is proud of the way this team came together early in the season, picking up wins against Glenville State and Lenore-Rhine.
That was probably one of the most fun victories for me this year because that was the first time since I've been at Carson-Newman that we beat LR. So it was a huge win for us.
During Taylor's time at Mossy Creek, the Eagles have had some ups and downs, yet he sees that this program is getting back on the winning track.
We've struggled since I've been here, and last year was, I believe, one of the worst seasons we've had as a school. So to come out and beat teams that we've beaten this year, even with our 2 losses, we feel like we've been successful, and we just know that we need to keep on the track we're on in order to continue that success.
Taylor says the offensive line is a tight group, united on and off the field.
We're a band of brothers. We're inseparable on and off the field. We have each other's backs. We get along. There's no arguing or bickering among us.
That spirit of togetherness also comes from longtime offensive coordinator and offensive line coach Mike Turner.
Love it. It's the best. Couldn't ask for anyone better. Yes, sir, except for the times where he's getting on us for our mistakes and goofing off too much, but other than that, it's awesome.
Leadership also comes from senior center Kevin Day, who has been a great role model to Taylor.
Kevin Day is definitely our #1 leader. He's been here the longest. He knows what he's talking about. Everyone knows that when he says something, it's important, that it's correct. I'd like to think of myself as a leader. This is my 3rd year here, and I'm just willing to take anyone younger than me under my wing and show them the ropes.
Taylor and the Eagles continue to work hard for the ultimate goal this season, getting back to the postseason and having the chance to play for a national championship.
For a school, I think we need it just as an overall morale booster. Personally, I would love to make it to the NCAA playoffs. It would be the first time I've done it, and I think that once we get there, if we do the right things, that we can go as far as we want to take ourselves.
For the Ken Sparks Show, I'm Roger Hoover.
Well, thank you very much, Roger, and Coach Alex Taylor, part of a veteran line, but he's a good kid and just one of those guys that's fun to be around.
Yeah, he is, and he's, I tell you what, he's a tough kid, and he's a guy that's found a way to make a lot of contributions around here. Got thrown in early because of injuries, and as a freshman, ended up starting about half the year, and then finishing up here last year and this year. He's had a great career, and Alex is a guy that, you know, we moved from guard to tackle, and he gives us a load at tackle that we have needed, and he does a good job for us.
You turn your attention to a rival next week in the Tusculum Pioneers. They fell in overtime last time out against Mars Hill. This one has some the makings of a quality contest.
Yeah, it makes you wonder when your next two opponents go to overtime and are fighting like crazy and playing really well, and so I would say that Coach DeBus would say it was probably one of their better games of the year. I know he's probably disappointed in them offensively somewhat, but they were really an outstanding football team defensively, and against a really good Mars Hill team. So you know, anytime Carson-Newman and Tusculum plays, there's always going to be some excitement, and so we'll have to be ready to play.
Bo Cordell has set pretty much every record that you can imagine for a quarterback. What's it take to slow down that passing attack?
Well, maybe offer him a milkshake or something and get him to leave the field for a while. I don't know. He's a good football player, and he can play football, and he's set every Tusculum record, Southland Conference record, Division II record, Universe records. He owns them all.
And he's only a junior.
And he's only a junior, so he's a good football player.
You think about the sack race at this point. You're still in it for a title. How much parity is there this year in the league?
Well, there's all kinds of parity, and I'm not sure you would say that we're in the running for the Southland Conference title. We've lost 2 games. That's probably knocked us out of it, but we got hope to have a year, an improved year over last year, and we're still working on improving ourselves, being a better football team and being better people. Better players make better teams. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
And so that's what we're working on, and that's an inside thing.
Coach, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for joining me.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Carson-Newman head football coach Ken Sparks. This has been the Ken Sparks Show. Thanks so much for watching.